Guys, Brad coming at you here on this lovely Monday afternoon. Well, just about, an hour or so ago, the Dolphins finally traded Jalen Ramsey. And much to my surprise, we got back a lot more than I expected. I expected a fifth round pick. That's what I expected. I knew they were looking to get a player in return because it's like, hey, if we're giving up a Pro Bowler, I need a player I can use. And I know that was kind of the holdup, is they kept wanting to try to find a player they could use. So the Dolphins almost righted it wrong. Because if you remember back in 2020, I believe it was, we traded Minkah Fitzpatrick away to the Pittsburgh Steelers, all because him and Flores didn't see eye to eye on the style of play and where he wanted to play at. So instead of being adults and just figuring it out, they just immediately traded him for a first-round pick. And Flores isn't easy to get along with as is, as we have found out. And it was one of the trades that always ticked me off because it was like you hit on a draft pick and then you trade them away 2 years, 2 years into it. It's so stupid, right? It's what bad teams do. That's why we're bad, right? Well, we got him in return for Jalen Ramsey. Now, unfortunately, we had to give up Jonnu Smith, who had his best year last year with us, but he wanted more money because he had a good year. It was like, hey, that $5 million is not going to do anymore. And we were never paying him $10+ million. So it was one of those like, hey, we're not going to give you a raise. We'd love for you to just play this year out. It sounded like we weren't really interested in extending him either. It was like, hey, we like you at the value you're at. If not, bye, right? So that was kind of a bummer just because he was very good for us last year. So it's basically Minkah for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. So I think the Steelers did well. And I think we did pretty well considering it was a player everyone knew was on the trading block. So, and you get a little bit of a homecoming of sorts. So hopefully he's a little happier this time around. But yeah, so you should see a corner being signed for us at some point. Problem is, those are out there. There's a reason they're still out there. They're either old or have injury problems. Like Asante Samuel, the reason he ain't signed yet is there's like a neck-shoulder issue that teams are not liking, I guess. And, so I think look for a corner to be signed by the Dolphins and a tight end trade. I haven't heard anything, but I think Michael Mayer from the Raiders would be a good fit for what we do. Because you remember they drafted him 2 years ago, then drafted Bowers last year. So would they be up for a trade with that? I don't know. Just a name to throw out there. But anyways, there you go. So glad to have Minkah back. Could look at his cards and not be sad now, Just be like, why did we? Because there's 2 trades the last 10 years that just ticked me off. That one and the Jarvis Landry trade. You guys have heard me rant about both. So good to have him back. Hopefully he stays healthy, obviously. That's a Dolphins problem in general, right? But all in all, considering, I think he did the best he could in the trade. The Steelers are obviously going for it. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, Jonnu Smith, Jalen Ramsey. These are not moves you make for long term. So they're going after it this year. We'll see if they're good enough to pull it off. It's going to be close. I don't know that they are. But if you're a Steeler fan, you should be at least excited. They're going after it, looks like, this season. So here we go. Another reason for the video, I have 2 pickups in. I was very sad last week. I was hoping it would be 3 pickups. So some of you know, because I've texted you, a card I really has been on my want list. And I don't have a very big list of actual individual cards that say, I want those, right? It's like 15, 20 cards on. So if I take the time to actually have it on the want list, it's if it comes up, I'm going to be aggressive, right? It's the 2018 Master Strokes Dan Marino. Finally pops up, right? It was a redemption back in 2018. I've seen one redemption, and I saw a live one about 3 years ago. That's all I've ever seen, and it's only numbered to 10. So this one pops up. Fantastic. I'm ready. It's a PSA 10. That's exactly what I did. Just, you gotta be kidding me. Because you know what that means in the world? You have to pay the 10 tax. Rarely am I going to be willing to pay the 10 tax. This go around, I said, you know what? I don't know if I'm ever going to see it again. I am willing to pay the 10 tax. So I put in a bid that really should have got it done. And of course, I lost at the last second by a few dollars. Went over $700. You thought my bid of 701 would have got it done. It did not. So I'm interested to see if I see it pop up on a certain one's Instagram. I don't know who won it. I don't know if it's the guy that I know has much deeper pockets than I do, or if it was just some other random. But yeah, I don't get bummed that often about losing it. Usually I'm like, oh, bummer, right? This one, it's like, just because I don't know if I'm going to see it again, But I digress. The two cards I did find are pretty nice. I'm sure we've all been there with the card you lost. You're just like, especially when you put an aggressive bid on it. So anyways, card I picked up, Hall of Famer, 2023 National Treasures Football. This is a set that's been around since either 2012 or 2013. They've inserted it here and there. It's the Virtuoso set. However, this year was the first year they changed the design. They have really pretty much kept about the same design over the years. So it's a nice on-card autograph of Zach Thomas to 25. So beautiful, bold autograph. This is a nice design as well. I think this is more simplistic, I would say. I don't have one to show you to compare the years, but if you've ever seen the Virtuosos, I would say the older design is a little better, I would say. But this is just fine. It's a nice, clean-looking card. And to 25, bold auto, yes, please sign me up. So very happy to add that. And since we're talking about a safety today, right? There's a few, we always talk about how if you're a true fan of a team, there's always players who aren't Hall of Famers, but they were very good and one of your favorites for like 3, 4, 5-year period, right? Well, this is one of them. He started with us in 2010, I believe, out of Georgia. This is a game used from Majestic of one Rashad Jones. Love the way this guy played. He was just balls to the wall all the time. Problem is with guys like this, they just don't have long careers because they don't take care of them. They're kind of reckless, which makes them fun to watch and makes you love them. And as you can see, even has a captain's patch. He was a captain for a couple years. But one of my favorite players, just the type of guy you want on your squad. And he was a 5th-round pick. Weren't sure if he was going to make it. And he played for us for about, 6 years maybe, but he was very good for like 4 of them. So, again, not going to make the Hall of Fame or anything, but if you watch the guy play, he was fun. So this is out of 2017 Majestic, game used 101 Dolphins patch. And I got this out. I thought it was just a great price. It got listed, and the buy it now best offer was already at, that's reasonable. So I'm like, I'm going to send an offer here, I'll go a little lower than what I'm willing to pay. Just feel the guy out. And honestly, he came back with what I was hoping he would. So I'll take it all day. Rashad Jones, 101. The Dolphins is from the center part of the writing there, just above his number on the front. So you got to play with the patch. You can always tell when they're game used, or at least game used quality based on the stitching, and this definitely is. If you ever get the cheap ones, like the Rookie Premier ones, they don't feel like this. So I always tell people that's almost how you can tell. Again, there's no way of knowing if he for sure wore it. You just have to take the word for it. But you can at least tell if it's game used quality or not, and it definitely is. So Majestic had some sneaky, great-looking cards in it. They did it for 3 years maybe, 4 years, something like that. but it's got some really nice autograph cards in it. But yeah, kind of I would say forgotten about overall, but very nice. Two, got one Hall of Famer and one just fan favorite, kind of shorter career, but love to watch him kind of guy. So there you go. So pretty pumped to add that. That's all I've got. Nothing else coming in. I am bidding on another Marino that ends tonight. Another old Ultimate collection popped up. So we'll see if I can snag this one. But yeah, anytime those pop up, you at least got to give it a shot, right? So yeah, that's all I got. Thank all of you for watching. And yeah, enjoy seeing all your upcoming content. Until next time, go Dolphins.